People often talk about losing motivation, don't they? But I don't think that's really what's happening with them. Because I think what many people are actually experiencing is the moment after inspiration. And they don't quite know how to understand that part. Because when inspiration shows up, it tends to come with a sense of clarity, almost like having a light bulb moment. How many of us have had those? It's like a feeling, a sense that something has suddenly fallen into place. And for a moment, things may feel aligned. You might feel hopeful or certain, or like you finally understand something about yourself, and then it fades. And when that happens, people often assume that they've done something wrong. But inspiration isn't a plan, it isn't a strategy, and it isn't something that's meant to carry you forward for weeks or months. It's more like a moment of alignment, a glimpse, a quiet recognition of something else that matters. And because it feels so alive when it arrives within you, you might often expect it to stay. But inspiration was never really meant to stay. Life doesn't change its pace just because you've had a moment of clarity. Your responsibilities are still there. Your routines are still there. Your nervous system hasn't suddenly shifted. So when the inspired feeling fades, people begin questioning themselves. They might think, why can't I hold on to this? Why does this always happen to me? Why do I feel so certain one moment and then I'm just so unsure the next? But the fading isn't a failure. It's simply the nature of inspiration. One of the biggest misunderstandings is expecting inspiration to do the heavy lifting for us. We expect it to carry through resistance, to override our tiredness, to push us through habits and patterns that have taken years and years to form. And when it doesn't do that, we often turn that disappointment inwardly. That disappointment that maybe we're not good enough. That disappointment that turns into a space of self-doubt where you start to look upon yourself as if you're just not good enough. You don't have what it takes. And when you start being hard on yourself, you assume that perhaps you lack discipline. Maybe you're assuming that you have no commitment. Maybe you're finding it challenging to follow through. Maybe one moment you have that inspiration and you feel so gusto that, yes, you're going to get this done. And then you start speaking to lots of people. This is what I'm going to do. This is the inspiration I got. And suddenly, by the time you've told 10 other people, it's almost as if that inspiration starts to fade and the sense of following through with it gets less and less. But inspiration was never designed to do that job for you, to follow through for you, to keep your commitment, to make you have discipline. Inspiration is just a signal. It's not a fuel source. It points, it doesn't push. It shows you something important. And then it steps back. And that's often the moment people feel lost because the feeling has gone. but the insight remains. And you may yourself, as you listen to this, you may be wondering, where's my inspiration gone? You might be thinking that you feel a little bit lost at this moment. But on paper, it shows that you've got it together. On paper, it shows that you're a confident professional. But yet, even professionals have moments that they feel a little bit lost. Even those people that are seemingly self-confident to their friends and their family, their co-workers, their neighbours, that they've got it together. But you will start to feel lost when you feel that there's no inspiration, that you don't have any purpose, or you're struggling to find, what is my purpose now? Maybe where you are now in life, things have changed for you. Perhaps you've had to let go of some friendships. Perhaps you've had to decide that you're no longer going to remain in the position in your employment that you've been in. Maybe you've decided that you've helped so many people for so many years that now it's your time. And maybe during that sense of wanting something more for yourself, you start to think about, what can I do? And as the inspiration starts to come in and you start to feel inspired, you start to tell friends, you start to tell family members, you start to tell anyone that's going to listen, because you feel so excited and you feel so powerful with it at times. But then, as perhaps maybe what they feel from you, you've activated something within them. And as they go off to pursue their dreams, their goals, based on you wanting to do what it is that you first set out to with that inspiration, but you suddenly find that that feeling is suddenly gone. And that what you felt so inspired to do, it's just disappeared. But there's something else that's important to recognize here. Clarity and capacity. Capacity. That's a new word. Capacity. I said it. Now, what do I do with that? Do I re-record this entire video because of one mishap of one word? Do I start to self-doubt myself because maybe I got a bit tongue-tied on a word? Do I let it go or do I continue? And that's the thing with you. I like to include errors, or I won't even say mistakes, but words that perhaps you just make up. The situation being that within your own life right now, you may have little mishaps. You might have little hiccups. You might have aspects where it's not necessarily perfect, or perfect how you would see it to be. But you've got to leave it in. I'm not going to re-record because I mispronounced the word. Why? You'll understand what I mean. And so will your friends and family. So if you're having a mishap, if you're having a little hiccup in your life, a little blip, don't write yourself off because of it. Just continue anyway, because the people that matter are going to understand. So let me carry on. Clarity is not the same thing as recognizing what's important. You know what matters to you in this life. You have a bucket list of things that you want to do. You know what really matters for you this year, what you want to get done, what you want to achieve. You know that the last 2 years have been turmoil and have been really a period of time which has created within you a sense of understanding of the way that people act and behave. It's opened your eyes. The last 2 years have been an eye opener for you. And you started to realize what matters most to you. And it might be spending more time with family or friends. It might be putting yourself first and just doing it because you can. Doing that, what you've sat on for the last how many years and not achieving it. It's not about creating something that's perfect. It's about having those little hiccups in what it is that you're doing so that you realize and you train yourself. Just be natural, just be naturally you, that you don't feel you have to do a performance. You know what matters to you. You can still feel certain about your direction, and you still can have an idea of what you want. You can still have that desire and still not have the energy, the time or stability to move towards it straight away. And that's okay. Because it doesn't mean that you were wrong. And it doesn't mean that the inspiration that you first had was false. It simply means that your life needs time to catch up. And a lot of people forget that. They forget that actually this is a life that they need to live. They forget that life is about learning, having hiccups, and carrying on anyway. It's not about chasing inspiration. It's not about trying to recreate that feeling. But to understand that when inspiration comes in, to follow it through alone. And it may be that when you have that next inspiration, that next great idea, that next sense of urgency or a sense within you that this is it now, this is the one that's going to put me on the map. The next time you have that, keep it to yourself and just get on with it. When you are further down the road, when you're maybe 5 miles, 10 miles, 26 miles down the road, then perhaps you can start telling friends and family, your co-workers, your neighbours, the shopkeeper, whoever it is that you like to tell your business to. Keep it quiet until you're further down the road and just allow your action to speak for itself. There's nothing wrong with you. So what? You might be feeling a little bit out of zinc at the moment. So what that you might be feeling a little bit lost? I want you to consider that it's okay for you to have self-doubt. I want you to consider that life is going to throw you the hiccups. It's going to throw you those curveballs. It's going to throw you the people into your life that maybe try to do everything but enhance it. You're going to have people, you're going to have leaders or managers or people who are in charge of you in some way, and they're going to try to leverage their position in order to get you to conform in some way. Or you might have family members, you might have friends, you might have people around you, maybe your children, maybe your parents, etc., maybe your siblings, your aunts, your uncles, who knows? But you might have people around you that are not behaving in a way that conforms to enhancing your well-being, and it's for you to decide, are you going to let other people dampen your inspiration? So whatever it is that you're feeling inspired to do, do it. But don't tell anyone. It's none of their business. It's none of their business right now. It's your business. It's your business to feel inspired within. Allow your soul to feel really excited. And to do what it takes. No matter what curveball, no matter what person in your life. Those that enhance you, the friends, the family, the work colleagues, the leaders, the managers, the teachers, etc. Those people that enhance your well-being and help your focus and are not there to detract from what you do, then of course you can later down the road invite them in and tell them what you felt at the time of when you were feeling inspired, what you wanted to do. And just, you don't have to be apologetic in any shape or form for what it is that you're trying to achieve right now. There's no need for any apologies. There's just a need for you to get up and do it. Follow that inspiration, but don't expect the inspiration to last for what it is that you receive. Expect that inspiration to, like a mist, drift off through the air until it lands on somebody else's head, until that person is quite active. And as they get that inspiration, they say to themselves, yes, I'm going to do this. And they do it. And they tell no one. Because the energy that they need, they contain that energy as their fuel to be focused, to take the steps, to walk the steps, to create the steps that's needed in order for them to achieve the completion, the outcome of said inspired thoughts. So, if you've ever felt disappointed in yourself because the inspiration didn't last, there may be nothing wrong with you at all. You may simply be asking something of inspiration that it was never meant to give. Sometimes inspiration just shows you the direction. And then it's enough to move at a pace that actually belongs to you. And that's enough. Be well, be happy, and smile as you embrace the inspiration to achieve, to live, and live well. My name is Anne Marie Bond, and I leave these thoughts with you today.